My parents took out $87,000 in loans under my name, then told me I was dead to them. The text came at 2:14 a.m. while I was standing in the cramped bathroom of the nurse's break room at Atrium Health, toothbrush in one hand, phone in the other. I had just pulled a 12-hour shift in the ICU and still had 4 more hours to go. The screen lit up the cracked mirror like a flash grenade. Mom, we are done. You are no longer our daughter. Do not call. Do not come to the house. Do not embarrass us at church on Sunday. You are dead to us. No punctuation. No emoji. Just 10 words that landed harder than any code blue I'd ever run. I stared until the toothpaste slid off the bristles and splattered on my Crocs. Then I laughed, one short, involuntary bark that echoed off the tile. A passing CNA poked her head in. You okay, Riley? Yeah, I said, wiping my mouth. Just found out I'm an orphan at 29. I wasn't joking. Not really. My name is Riley Harper. I'm an ICU nurse in Charlotte, North Carolina. I work nights because the differential is $6.50 an hour, and that used to mean an extra $400 a month toward loans that weren't even mine. I'm 5'4" in sneakers, I drink coffee black enough to strip paint, and for the last 11 years I have been the family's unpaid scholarship fund, emergency savings account, and emotional punching bag, all rolled into one exhausted, scrubs-wearing package. It started the week after I graduated high school in 2013. I was 18, sunburned from graduation practice, and stupidly proud that I'd gotten into UNC Charlotte on academic scholarship. Mom called me into the kitchen of our double-wide in Concord. The table was covered in FAFSA printouts, sticky notes, and a plate of slightly burned banana bread, her stress-baking signature. Sit down, baby, she said, patting the chair like I was still 8. Dad stood behind her in his UPS uniform, arms crossed, nodding solemnly like they were about to offer me a full ride to Harvard. We're going to help you get through school with no debt, Mom announced. Parent Plus loans. Government loans in your name, low interest, and we'll make the payments. You just have to sign. I remember the pen felt heavy. I remember the kitchen smelled like cinnamon and desperation. I remember thinking how lucky I was that my parents cared this much. I signed 6 forms that day. I didn't read them. I trusted them. That was mistake number 1. The first 2 years I lived at home and commuted. My actual federal loans were tiny $3, $500 a year. I worked 30 hours a week at Chick-fil-A, saved every penny, kept my grades up. I thought the Parent Plus loans were for books, maybe a laptop. I had no idea they were buying my little brother Landon an entirely different life. Landon is 3 years younger, 6'2", blonde, loud, and has been the center of the universe since the day he was born. When he got into UNC Chapel Hill, barely. Mom cried happy tears for a week. When he said he wanted to live on campus, Dad said, whatever it takes. When he rushed Sigma Chi and needed $1,200 for dues, Mom said, family helps family. Every semester she'd call me into the kitchen again. Just one more signature, Riley. The interest rate is lower if it's in the student's name. But I'm not the student. You're both our kids. It's the same thing. By the time I graduated nursing school in 2017, there were 7 Parent Plus loans totaling $87,400. All in my name, none of them for me. Landon had gotten the full Carolina experience. Dorms, meal plan, MacBook, spring break in Panama City, season basketball tickets, fraternity composites on the wall. I had gotten a $19,000 balance of my own and a gnawing feeling I couldn't name. I found out the real number in 2019 when I tried to buy a used Honda Civic. The salesman ran my credit and literally laughed. Ma'am, you've got almost 90 grand in federal student loans. You're not getting approved for a bicycle. I drove home shaking. That night, I walked into the double-wide without knocking. Mom was in her recliner scrolling Facebook. Dad was watching Duck Dynasty reruns. Landon was on the couch with a $1,600 gaming laptop balanced on his bare chest, yelling at Fortnite. How much? I asked. Mom didn't look up. How much what? The Parent Plus loans. In my name. For Landon. The TV went silent. Dad muted it with the remote like he was cocking a gun. You're being dramatic, he said. Those are family loans. We all benefit. How do I benefit? My voice cracked. My credit is 520. I can't rent an apartment without 3 months' deposit. Landon rolled his eyes so hard I heard it. It's not that deep, Bree. Just keep making the payments till I get on my feet. You graduated 2 years ago. I'm building my brand, he said. Like that was an actual job. I asked quietly, politely, why they didn't refinance the loans into their own names. Dad's face went the color of raw steak. You want your mother and me paying 9% when we can get 4.5 in yours? Where's your gratitude? That night I told them I wasn't making another payment until the loans were moved. Mom burst into tears about how I was ripping the family apart over money. Dad said I had a hard heart like my father's people. Landon called me a selfish bitch and slammed the door so hard the siding cracked. I thought that was the worst it could get. I was wrong. For the next 3 years they froze me out. No birthday calls. No Christmas invitation. No, how's the new job? Texts. Just silence. Except for the occasional Venmo request from Mom labeled emergency or your brother needs tires that I left on read. Meanwhile, I moved into a 400-square-foot studio above a vape shop in Noda. The carpet smelled like cat even though the landlord swore there had never been pets. I picked up every overtime shift the hospital offered. I ate peanut butter sandwiches for dinner and showered in flip-flops because the bathroom tiles were black with something I didn't want identified. Every month, the Parent Plus loans fell another 30 days delinquent. The calls from the Department of Education started at 8 a.m. On Saturdays, I let them ring. I knew what collections felt like. I'd grown up watching Mom and Dad dodge them my whole childhood. The difference was, this time the debt was mine only on paper. I told myself I was waiting them out, that eventually they'd refinance. That blood was thicker than water and all that Southern gospel guilt they'd poured into me since baptism. Then came the 2:14 a.m. text. I didn't sleep. At 6:55 a.m., still in yesterday's scrubs, I opened my laptop on the milk crate I used as a coffee table and logged into studentaid.gov. I printed every promissory note. 7 loans. 7 signatures that were undeniably mine because 18-year-old me had trusted her parents. I spread the pages across the floor like evidence in a murder trial. The numbers stared back. $14,200, $12,800, $16,100 until the total hit $87,400. I took photos with my phone, time-stamped, saved to 3 different clouds. At 7:30 a.m., I called the default resolution group. The woman who answered had a smoker's rasp and zero patience for pleasantries. Ma'am, these are Parent Plus loans. The borrower of record is Riley Harper. That makes you legally responsible. I understand, I said. I'm choosing strategic default. Long pause. You understand wage garnishment, tax offset, Social Security? Yes. And you're certain? I've never been more certain of anything in my life. I hung up and opened my banking app. I removed myself as authorized user from Mom's Belt card, Dad's Lowe's card, Landon's Apple card, the Netflix account, the Hulu, the Disney Plus, the Planet Fitness family plan. Every digital thread I'd let them wrap around my neck. I cut. Then I did the thing I should have done years earlier. I filed an identity theft affidavit with the Department of Education. I uploaded the promissory notes, my driver's license, a notarized statement swearing I had received 0 educational benefit from the loans. I mailed hard copies certified, return receipt requested, because my mama didn't raise a fool, just a late bloomer. 2 weeks later, Mom posted a photo on Facebook of the default resolution group letter sitting on her kitchen counter next to her "Bless this mess" trivet. Caption: Pray for us, y'all. The devil is busy working overtime in this family. The comments exploded. Church ladies with praying hands emojis. Cousins I hadn't seen since middle school calling me Jezebel. Aunt Denise started a meal train for Sister Denise while she deals with betrayal. That's when the phones started. Mom left 17 voicemails in one day, escalating from tears to screaming to bargaining to scripture. Dad's were short and lethal. After everything we sacrificed. Landon's were drunk and threatening. You better fix this or I swear to God. I saved every single one. Marked them evidence. I didn't answer. Not once. Instead, I kept working. I kept paying my real loans. I kept letting the Parent Plus loans rot on my credit like the lie they were. I watched my score crawl from 520 to 548 to 572 as the delinquencies aged. I learned the federal student loan statute of limitations is forever, but identity theft discharge is also forever. 6 months later, the letter came. The Department of Education has determined the above-referenced loans were taken without the knowledge or consent of the borrower. All balances discharged in full due to identity theft. $87,400, gone. Forgiven. My credit report updated overnight. Paid in full, fraud. My score shot to 712. That same afternoon, Mom left the voicemail I still play when I need a reminder that karma has a sense of humor. Riley, baby, we didn't mean it about you being dead to us. We was just hurt. Landon got him a job at CarMax. 30 grand a year plus commission. He's gonna start sending payments. Please call your mama. I miss my girl. I didn't call. I did send one group text to the family chat I had been removed from and re-added to 7 separate times over the years. The loans have been discharged due to proven identity theft. I will not be making any payments now or ever. Per your request on March 14th, I will continue honoring your need for no contact. I wish you all the best. I attached the discharge letter, redacted SSN, of course, and blocked every number I recognized. They showed up at my condo 48 hours later. I had just closed on a 2-bedroom fixer-upper in Plaza Midwood, 2.9% interest because the fraud flag made the lender look at my income instead of the ancient defaults. I was painting the kitchen sage whisper when the Ring notification pinged. There they were on my porch. Mom clutching a tear-soaked tissue and her oversized purse Bible. Dad in his one good polo shirt. Landon in Oakley's and a wrinkled button-down. Aunt Denise holding a casserole like a peace offering. Mom rang the doorbell 17 times. Dad pounded. Landon kicked my "come back with tacos" mat so hard it flipped over. I watched on the app, coffee in hand, and called the non-emergency line. Hi! I have trespassers refusing to leave my property. The officer who responded was 6'5" and unimpressed. I stayed inside and listened through the open window as he explained North Carolina's no-contact laws to my former family. Mom wailed loud enough for the neighbors to film on their phones. Landon called the cop a pig. Dad tried the "she's my daughter" card and got shut down with "sir. She says otherwise." They left with the casserole. They haven't been back. Landon's LinkedIn now says, Sales Associate CarMax. His Instagram is private, but mutual friends say he's living in a 3-bedroom with 5 other guys and drives a 2009 Civic with a busted taillight. Mom's Facebook is locked down, but Aunt Denise still tags her in prayer chains about prodigal children who break their parents' hearts. Dad sold the base boat last year. Turns out I'd been paying the insurance on that too. Me? I paid off my real $19,000 loans last month. My condo smells like fresh paint and dog treats. I adopted a drooling mutt named Karma who thinks my couch is his throne. I'm dating a paramedic named Marcus who thinks my family died in a car wreck because that's the story I told on our second date and never corrected. Some lies are mercy. I kept one relic. The screenshot of Mom's 2:14 a.m. text. For a year it was my lock screen. Every time I checked the time I saw you were dead to us. Now it lives in a folder labeled Receipts, next to the discharge letter and the police report. Sometimes patients in the ICU ask why I work so many nights. I tell them the money's good. The truth is quieter. I like the dark. It's honest. Nobody pretends in the dark. I used to think family was the people who shared your blood whether you liked it or not. Turns out family is the people who don't make you sign your future away at 18. Turns out peace is worth more than any inheritance they could have left me. I chose peace. And for the first time in my life, nobody is asking me to pay for it.